Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel MLearners. I am Santosh, and in this video I will be covering a topic which is exploratory data analysis. So before moving on to this topic of the video, I want to introduce you to my channel MLearners. So the main aim of this channel is to create one-stop solution wherein you will learn data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence from very basics, right, to very advanced topics like Gen AI, Agentic AI and all. So what I saw in the open source YouTube community where people are teaching and creating courses of data science is that a lot of people teach data science on a very surface level, which is one drawback. So you have to understand the depth first rather than going towards the breadth. So I will cover each and every topic from very basics, why each topic came into picture in the first place. So we will also see why behind every topic and how that particular topic is used in a real world scenarios, right? We'll cover why and how, and that's one thing. The second thing is that they are not teaching in a structured way. So considering data science is very vast topic, right? You have to understand each and every topic in a sequential manner. Then only you'll understand the advanced topics like Gen AI, right? That is the main aim of this channel. So I have already created a playlist wherein I started from very basics of data science, right? You can go towards this playlist, and I would really suggest and recommend you to for any beginner to go in this playlist and start your journey to learn data science. And definitely I would guarantee you that you will become a job ready once you complete watching all of the videos in this playlist, right? With that being said, let's move to the topic of today. Exploratory data analysis is a task of analyzing our data using concepts from statistics, linear algebra, plotting tools and other techniques so as to understand what our dataset is all about before we go on to build model on it. Okay, so they are saying that once we have data, right, the data can be fetched using APIs, let's say web scraping and all. If at all you have understood the problem statement and you have data readily available by your company or organization, you can use their APIs or databases, right? So all this will serve you to collect the data. So once you have the data, you will start analyzing the data, right? And that analysis is called exploratory data analysis, right? And how you will do that, we will see in the further part of this video. Okay, so the main aim of exploratory data analysis is to understand about data. So that's the main concept with the aim of solving the problem statement. So we'll take some example. Let's say you want to predict or forecast weather tomorrow, right? You will be having the previous history, like what is the weather yesterday, how was 6 months weather statistics and all. Based on that, you will forecast what will be the weather tomorrow or next couple of weeks, right? So that's how you forecast, right? You'll be having data maybe in a tabular format, and these are columns, right? And each column refers to one variable. Okay, it is called variable, which is also called a column. Okay, so you'll use these variables, and these are records, right? Like first 1 day record, 2nd day record, 3rd day record, etc., etc. So if you want to predict the weather, you will be using this data to solve the problem statement, which is aim of this problem, right? Which is to forecast weather. So in order to forecast weather, you will do certain analysis. correct? You will be plotting a history like a line plot, or let's say any bar chart, etc., etc. Right? You will be plotting these charts. So these charts, whatever charts or whatever analysis you are doing, that should serve your aim, which is forecasting weather. Okay, and let's say you are having 100 columns, which is equals to 100 variables. Let's say, for example, so in order to plot, or in order to analyze these 100 columns, you will plot certain plots. Let's say first variable is x1, second variable is x2, or etc., etc., x3, x2. So you will plot different plots. Okay, so you have, likewise, you have 100 variables, right? You have 100 variables, and if you try to plot in these combinations, you will be having 100 C2 plots, right? Which is a lot, right? If you keep on doing these permutations and combinations, you will be having a lot of plots. But if those plots are not making you understand any useful information to solve forecasting weather problem, then the plot is useless. So whenever you're trying to analyze data, that analysis should serve your problem statement. That's one main important point. Okay, now we will see why EDA. So we will see the first point, which is, so the first point is to know about data, because whenever you're done understanding problem statement, you have the enough data, then you will understand, okay, what your data is, right? As we saw already. That's one important point. So as real world data is not clean, so most real world data, they either have empty values, right? These are empty values, or some outliers, like some errors or issues, or some mismatches. Like let's say this column, let's say it's about gender, but in there will be some other thing apart from the gender, right? So those are some errors or outliers, so that you have to clean. The third point is to know which features are important. Exactly. So we already saw the problem of forecasting weather. We have 100 columns. Whether all these 100 columns are required or only 10 columns are required. So, right? So those things you will only understand once you analyze the data, right? The fourth point is to know which algorithm suits the data set, right? So different problems requires different machine learning algorithms. Like we have a lot of machine learning algorithms like KNN, SVM, logistic regression, linear regression, etc., etc., right? So in order to choose which algorithm suits our data set, so you have to understand the data, and then only you can choose the best algorithm which fits the data well. One is take and validate assumptions. So sometimes you take certain assumptions, like for filling the outlier or filling the empty values, etc., etc. And sometimes you do hypothesis testing, which is also very important concept. Okay, all these assumptions you will take and validate in the EDA phase itself. Okay, and the last one is helps to showcase to business counterpart and ask the right questions. So in this stage itself, once you have your analytics ready, like in a visual format, right? Like you have done all the visualization. So in EDA, you will do visualization as well. This is when you're plotting, that is called visualization. So when you have different charts, like you have bar plots. Okay. So this is your dashboard. Okay, this is your dashboard. Now you will go to your business counterparts and say, hey, I have did this analysis, and this is what the data says. This is what the pattern is, right? And then if you have some inconsistencies about the data, you may ask more data, right? More data, or these columns are not available, give me that column. So etc etc. So these things you will only able to do when you do good EDA, right? This is why behind EDA. And now the final thing is, without EDA you are just relying on ML algorithm to do the magic. So you are just doing a guesswork, saying that okay, you don't know anything about data, and you will directly pass the data to any ML algorithm, and you will say okay, this machine learning algorithm will do the magic. Okay, but there is a saying in general where garbage in, which results to garbage out, right? If you have the data as garbage, the same will be showing in the output of machine learning as well, which is predictions, right? Moving on to what are main types of EDA. There are three main types of EDA. The first one is univariate, the second one is bivariate, the third one is multivariate. Okay, univariate, let's see about that. Uni and variate, what they are saying is uni means single and variate means variable. Okay, whenever you're doing your analysis on single variable, okay, it is called univariate. And the example plots or charts we have as histograms. Okay, we will see what exactly is histogram clearly when we are discussing uh, the in the next video. I will be discussing about uh, how to do EDA and all using a data set. So there I'll try to discuss more about EDA, but for now what you have to understand is this: there are two variables x and y. Oh, there is only one variable actually, even though there are two axes x and y, but there will be only one variable. Let's say this variable is age. Here you will be having the count, and on age, let's say this is the bin of 0 to 10, and this is from 10 to 20. This bin is for 20 to 30, etc. So what you are doing is how many people or how many kids lies between the age 0 to 10, which is 50, let's say, and this is 70, the second bin, etc. and all. So you are just counting how many people are between certain age. So this is just a count plot. There will be only one variable. Here you are having the count. Okay, similarly all the other plots as well. So this histogram, box plot, everything works for single variable. And one thing about bar plot is you can use bar plot for both univariate and as well as bivariate also. Okay, just remember that fact. Most people confuse over here about the bar plot. The bivariate, so coming on to bivariate, when we have two variables, so when two variables, let's say this is age, sorry, this is not age, let's say this is a gender, and let's say age. So this y is age and x is gender. Now you'll have, let's say you want to plot the mean of the age. So let's say the female gender, their median age is, let's say, 50. Okay, and the male gender's age is, let's say the median age is 45.5 something. So now you have age over here, right, which is median age or average age. The x variable is gender. Okay, so that's how you can use two variables, and this is a bar plot. That's what I said. You can use bar plot for both univariate as well as bivariate. Okay, similarly there is a scatter plot. Okay, when you have x and y variables as numerical features, okay, x also should be numbers, y also should be numbers, so then you can plot a scatter plot. Similarly line plot, when you join this using lines, that becomes a line plot. Okay, so multivariate, more than two variables stands for multivariate, and the plots are by pair plots. Okay, there is something called as 3D plot where you have three dimensions x, y, and z. Okay, those are 3D plots, but those are, people try to avoid these 3D plots because most 3D plots you have to do all the jigglings and all to understand the data, right? You have to move the 3D plot here and there because you're seeing everything on 2D screen. But how can you visualize a 3D? So that's what the problem is. So you have to do all the scrollings, then only you'll understand 3D plots. Instead of 3D plots, people try to use something called as contour plots. Okay, contour plots. So we will see all this in the later part. Okay. The heat map is also three variables. So x and y, let's say x and y are variables again. Okay, and this hue stands for some other variable. So the color, this is called hue. So something which is blue may be some lesser value. The as we increase, that becomes a higher value. That is some, there is some indication, right? So heat maps are also used for multivariate, which is three variables, and similarly bubble charts. Okay, these are some examples of multivariate. Okay, so I hope you understood what are three main types of EDAs or three main analysis which you are doing. Okay, and now the question is how to perform EDA. So there are these tools. Okay, these are tools. Okay, one is programmatical way. These are some UI way, like there is this UI or a software where you can do analysis, you can plot charts or do all the visualizations. Most non-coders who want to interactively present their analysis, those people, like mostly data analyst. Okay, so data analyst and business analyst, all these people mostly use Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, all the Power BI tools, okay? Because they can interactively showcase their analysis because these plots are interactive. That means you can scroll that plot, you can iterate through that plot, okay? So those are interactive plots, and also these tools have a flexibility to add in, like let's say you have data in Excel file format or in DBs, you can connect that easily using these tools, right? So that's why people prefer that, and also there is no requirement of coding as well, and plots are interactive. All those are advantages, right? That's why people prefer this. But to have more flexibility, okay, when you want flexibility, then we use programmatical way. Okay, in in programmatically we have R as well. R is one of the uh, uh, language where you can do all the analysis. Okay, and in Python, you have flexibility of doing machine learning analysis as well. So people prefer Python. Okay. In Python, you have libraries called pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, plotly. All these are plotting tools. Okay. In pandas, you can still plot, but we don't have a lot of flexibility over there. But mostly people recommend and use matplotlib and seaborn because we have a lot of flexibility and interactive charts as well in plotly. Okay. And these are beginner friendly as well. Okay. That is also one thing. So this is about how to perform EDA. So we will do a EDA on one simple data set in the next video. Okay, we will do univariate, bivariate. Okay, so we will do all this analysis by taking an example of some data set and try to see both in Python how to do the coding. Okay, and also see what each plot mean. Okay, at the end of the day, we should solve the aim of the problem statement, right, by using the charts, right? So we'll see all those things in the next part of the video. So till then, if you have any doubts, you can comment down. Okay, I would be really happy to see if you understood this topic well or not. Okay, until then, take care and bye.